Hi everybody, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Santa's here today. I know he's moving. He is beyond thrilled to be here today for the Tommy Maroon Sports Show on WCTV. And he's excited to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, aren't you? Yes, I assume so. Donovan Mitchell right there leads those Cavs with 29 points per game, 89% free throw percentage, and 1.5 steals per game. Meanwhile, Jarrett Allen leads those Cavs with 10.8 rebounds per game. Darius Garland leads them with 7.9 assists per game. And Evan Mobley leads them in blocks per game with 1.5. Some game recaps because it's a lot of fun. Cavs against the 76ers. Good win, 113-85. Darius Garland, 21 points, 9 assists. How about Karis LeVert, folks? He had 22 points off the bench, and Donovan Mitchell with one of his weaker games, but still 18 points nonetheless, which is pretty impressive. Joel Embiid had 19 points, and Shake Milton had 14. Sixers were up by 7 in the first, and the largest lead the Cavs had in that ball game was by 33. That's right, 33 points separated those two teams at one point. Then the Cavs played the Orlando Tragic, and it was another win because Orlando sucks. 107-96 victory. Donovan, 34 points. Kevin Love, 11 points and 11 rebounds. Evan Mobley, 19 points, 13 rebounds. Paulo Banchero, 22 points, and Cole Anthony, 19 off the bench. Cavs led for almost the entire game, but the Tragic did have 7 more rebounds, which is a little surprising. Cavs against the Knicks, that was a tough loss, 92-81. Donovan Mitchell, 23 points. Darius Garland, 17 points. Evan Mobley, 11 points, 10 rebounds. Jalen Brunson, 23 points. Julius Randle, 18 points, 9 rebounds. Cavs were never winning during the game, and each team had 17 assists. And then this game right here, folks, the Cavs against the Lakers. And the Cavs won 116-102. Donovan Mitchell went off, scoring 43 points, while Jarrett Allen, not that far behind him, with 24 points plus 11 rebounds in his return back to the Cavs following an injury. Darius Garland, 21 points, 11 assists, and LeBron had 17 rebounds for those Lakers. And Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook, 16 points each. The Lakers actually did have a lead in the fourth quarter, but they had one less rebound than the good old Cavaliers. And, of course, looking at the standings right now, we are about a quarter of the way through the season, if not more than a quarter of the way through the season. How did it go by so fast? How about those Cavs? They're third in the Eastern Conference. Just 4.5 back of the mighty Boston Celtics, and they are tied with the Phoenix Suns and Memphis Grizzlies for the fourth best team in the conference, and would be just half the game behind the Pelicans had they been in the Western Conference. But still, if the season were to end, they'd be playing Indiana, as that's number 3 against number 6. Cavs have won 7 out of their last 3. Talk about home court advantage. Cavs have won all but one game at the Rock this season, but on the road it's been a different story. 5-8 record, which is kind of frustrating to see. But you know what's not frustrating? 111.5 points per game. That is pretty good, and a difference of 6.6 points per game in favor of those Cavaliers. Now it's time to go for everybody's favorite part of the show, Tommy's Picks Recap. Yes, it's always a lot of fun. The high school football state championship, St. Ed's beat Springfield 28-14. In Division II, Toledo Central Catholic wins their first state championship since 2014 when they beat Joe Burrow in Athens, 28-21 win over Archbishop Hoban. Division III, Canfield beat Bloom Carroll 35-14. In Division IV, 26-6 win for those Glenville Tarblooders. They won their first state championship. South Range beats Ironton 53-27. In Division 6, Marion Local took down Kirtland 14-6. And last but most certainly not least, Division 7, in which New Bremen took down Warren JFK 38-6. Now time for the college football conference championships. Not the national championships, of course, but rather the conference championships. In the Conference USA, CUSA, UTSA beat North Texas 48-27. In the Pac-12, Utah beat USC 47-24. Big 12, Kansas State beat TCU in a throwing overtime game 31-28. First, Kansas State got the goal line stance and then kicked the game-winning field goal. And TCU for about 24 hours was pretty scared about that college football playoff hopes of theirs, but for them, they will still make it nonetheless, and they will play Michigan. In the MAC, Toledo took down Ohio 17-7. In the Sun Belt, Troy beat Coastal Carolina 45-26. In the SEC, Georgia remains undefeated as they are SEC champions with a 50-30 win. And in the AAC, Tulane took down Central Florida 45-28. In the Mountain West, Fresno State beat Boise State 28-16. And in the Big Ten, Michigan remains unbeaten as well, as they took down Purdue 43-22. In the ACC, Clemson won that one 39-10. DJ Uiagalelei is going to be transferring as well, so it's a new quarterback and a new age out in Clemson. In the NFL, the Bills beat the Patriots 24-10. The Steelers beat the Falcons 19-16. And the Ravens beat Broncos country, let's die, 10-9. And what had to have been one of the sorriest games I've ever seen in my entire life. Holy cow, that was depressing. A 9-3 lead for Denver. Ravens scored their only touchdown, and the only touchdown of the game for either team with under a minute to play. The Broncos have been doing absolutely terrible this season. Broncos country, let's ride. More like Broncos country, let's die. And Russell Wilson has been doing absolutely atrocious this season for the Broncos. Once again, the Broncos have been one long episode of the Magic School Bus this year. Russell Wilson is Miss Frizzle. Nathaniel Hackett is Carlos. And every normal Broncos fan is Arnold. I knew I should have been rooting for this team this year. I can just picture it. I did make a meme about it. If I can find the meme. Oh, yeah, I got it. But first, we're going to finish up. The Packers beat the Bears 28-19, and the Lions are 5-7. They have been on a tear a little bit lately, 40-14. The Browns' defense was on fire last week. 3 touchdowns against the Texans, knocking Houston out of the playoffs. 27-14. What a game that was for the defense. My word, that was incredible. The Vikings beat the Jets 27-22. And the Commies tied the Giants because why on earth are there ties in football? Good question. 20-20. The Eagles beat the Titans 35-10. Seahawks get back to their winning ways with a win over the Super Bowl hangover. Rams 27-23. And Jimmy G is going to be out for a while now as he got hurt. And Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy is the new quarterback for those 49ers in a 33-17 win over Free Willy. And the Bengals continue to own the Chiefs with a 27-24 win. And the Raiders beat the Chargers 27-20. And the Cowboys went crazy in the fourth quarter, winning 54-19. Where it was, I think, 20 or 23-19. All I know is that the Cowboys just went absolutely insane in that fourth and final quarter. And then Tom Brady led the Buccaneers to another improbable comeback because Mark Ingram stepped out of bounds a yard short of the first down marker for some reason. I saw a tweet about it, and it's true. Tom Brady is inevitable. He is basically Thanos of football. High school football, 5-2. College football, 5-5 with 5 points. And the NFL, I went 9-5-1 with 10 points. So that is what happened. Let's look at my picks for this week. Yep, now we're doing high school basketball. High school girls basketball first. Talmadge against Highland, I'm picking Highland. Westlake playing North Olmsted, picking Westlake. Mentor against Brunswick, picking Brunswick. Medina against Strongsville, picking Medina. North Ridgeville against Steele, picking Steele. Archbishop Hoban against Olmsted Falls. Here's an upset right here. Olmsted Falls should win. And then Northwestern against Keystone, picking the Wildcats to win that. And then Fairview against Elyria Catholic, picking Fairview. Rocky River against Bay, picking the Pirates. Here's my lock of the week for this week. Cuyahoga Falls losing to Revere. Revere the lock of the week. Hudson going to beat Twinsburg. And Normandy going to beat Holy Name. And then high school boys basketball. Talmadge, I think, will beat Highland, unfortunately. Avon will beat Elyria. Rocky River to beat North Olmsted. Fairview will beat Westlake. North Ridgeville over Olmsted Falls. I think Walsh is going to come to the road against Gilmore Academy and pick up a win. St. Ignatius is my upset of the week against Mighty Lutheran West. St. Ed's will beat St. John's Jesuit is my lock of the week. Archbishop Hoban will beat Liberty. Holy Name against Slate Catholic. And I think Holy Name will win that. Bucktold to beat Firestone and Roosevelt to beat Barberton. Now time for the NFL. Baker Mayfield is no longer with the Panthers. He is now with the Rams, who need a lot of help because they look like one of the worst teams to ever win a Super Bowl. My goodness, they said, forget all those picks, traded for a bunch of superstars. Sure, they won a Super Bowl, but they must have made a deal with, somebody because, man, oh man, they have been terrible. I wish for a Super Bowl win. They got the Super Bowl win, and they have crashed and burned ever since. They're playing the red-hot Raiders. I think they've won their last 3 games. I'm picking the Raiders. Bills against the Jets. Bills will have some motivation to beat the Jets after falling to them earlier this year. I'm picking the Bills. Bengals against the Browns. Here's my upset. Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor are still yet to beat the Cleveland Browns. And they will still be looking for that elusive win after Sunday. Browns, who have won 2 straight. Let's make it 3 straight Sunday. Give me the Browns. And then Cowboys against the Suxons. Suxons have nothing to play for except maybe C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young in the first pick. Either way, both those quarterbacks are going to be absolutely doomed. I'm picking the Cowboys. Lions against the Vikings. I don't know why. I'm thinking the Lions are going to win. Giants against the Eagles. Picking the Eagles. Steelers against the Ravens. Steelers will probably win because at the end of the day, it's Mike Tomlin and the Steelers always find ways to win. Not to mention the fact that the Ravens almost lost to the Broncos, for God's sake. Titans will beat Suxonville. Broncos country, let's die against the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh boy, I can't believe that's going to be a game. My pick, the Kansas City Chiefs. Who else is going to win that game? Seahawks against Baker Mayfield-less Panthers. I'm picking the Seahawks. 49ers against the Buccaneers. Picking the 49ers. Chargers play Free Willy. Picking Free Willy. And finally, the Monday night game, Cardinals against the Patriots. I'm picking the New England Patriots to win it. Yes, there's Santa right there. And we go center him right there. I think the light right there is supposed to be working, but unfortunately it's not. Here's the meme I was mentioning earlier today. It is right here. It's Russell Wilson as Miss Frizzle. Look. Seatbelts, everyone! And we'll see where the other memes are. Nope. There they are. Please let this be a normal season. With Russell Wilson? No way! Aww. And of course, Arnold is every Broncos fan. Oh boy. And then you can hear Little Richard singing the theme song. Oh my goodness. It's just been that type of season for the Denver Broncos. It's been absolutely hilarious. And they'll probably fall to 3-10 now. My God, that's awful. What's not awful is the Tommy Maroon Sports Show, and what's not awful is WCTV. So I highly suggest that you stay tuned for the next programs coming up right here. Till then, I'm Tommy Maroon. Hope to see you next week.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.